Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And remember...
No, we haven't got time for that today. We've got so much news to tell you about, including the host city for WrestleMania 37 may have been revealed.
The latest on the Lio Rush situation.
Saudi Arabia has caused another WWE pay-per-view to be rescheduled.
Impact Wrestling stealing a top-level free agent from WWE.
An Impact wrestler has been rushed to hospital.
Vince McMahon's reason for WWE's financial slump.
And a first-time ever match coming up on SmackDown Live this week. This is the news.
And story number one, it is an absolute belter. So Money in the Bank is only a few weeks away, less than 3 now. It's on May 19th, and the card is really starting to come together. We have 4 matches announced so far. I won't run through them, you should know them already. But a number of potential matches have leaked online over the weekend. This comes to us via eWrestlingNews.com, who claim to have acquired images leaked through the local advertising market. So I won't run through every single one here because there are 6 matches, but the 7 new ones in fact. But the 4 most interesting matches are a WWE Championship triple threat between Kofi Kingston, Kevin Owens, and Rowan. Interesting. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which of course we know is going to take place. The lineup for that they claim is going to be Drew McIntyre, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade, and 5-star Lars Sullivan. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and this one's a bit weird, Tamina, Sasha Banks, who's MIA, Natalya, Naomi, Bayley, Carmella, Ember Moon, and Sonya Deville, but no Mandy Rose. The most interesting match of all on this lineup, and this is a particular red flag because they've never done this before, an NXT Money in the Bank ladder match. And get this lineup. Jackson Riker, but the rest of it, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, Tyler Breeze returning to the NXT brand, and Dominic Dijakovic. Now, I spent a long time running through those. Quick Cliff Notes thoughts on those matches?
Can't wait. I love Money in the Bank, and I would love to see an NXT Money in the Bank ladder match.
It's one hell of a lineup. Pinch of salt, it's only one source. The things like Sasha Banks appearing in the NXT ladder match sound quite insane, but if they happen, we won't be complaining.
No idea what Rowan's doing in the WWE Championship match either, but fine, whatever. Right, moving on. Story number 2, WrestleMania 36, as you know, is going to be taking place in Tampa Bay, but WrestleMania 37, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer, could be taking place in Los Angeles. He said on Wrestling Observer Radio, I think it's going to be Los Angeles. The city wants it in 2021, WWE wants it in 2022, but it looks like the city of Los Angeles is probably going to get its way. When WWE are going to go there, they're going to try and claim the record for the AT&T Stadium, which is like 100,000 people. So they'll probably claim about 102,000 people.
Yeah, they'll make a bunch of rubbish up, and then the true number will come out the next week as 72,000.
Yes, get ready for a lot of Michael Cole shouting, WrestleMania goes Hollywood!
Oh, that'll be fun. I mean, LA, I guess, it's a cool location, and I can't wait to go there, because we will definitely be going there.
Absolutely,
guaranteed.
see you there.
100%. So, the latest on the Lio Rush situation, shall we? So there's a new report from Fightful, obviously last week. There was fresh reports of backstage heat on Lio Rush, prompting the wee man to upload quite a strong social media rebuttal. Now there's a new report from Fightful that suggests one of the reasons that WWE's locker room are so frustrated with him is an insistence on having his wife present at all times backstage at rehearsals, which is apparently very, very unusual. Now there are 2 specific incidents quoted in the article. Number 1 is a time when Finn Balor apparently took Lio to the side and said, look, Vince McMahon probably isn't going to appreciate you having family members around backstage. Lio blew him off. The second one revolves around Lio bragging about him and his wife getting a reality show, which led to management getting involved. Now, apparently, according to Fightful, these issues are so strong that Lio will be very, very lucky if he ever appears on a main roster show ever again.
Wow.
Given that Raw's tonight, so we'll kind of find out a little bit more about that. If he's hanging out with Bobby Lashley, then perhaps these issues have been resolved. But maybe Lio Rush is going to be just restricted to 205 Live.
Yeah, it's difficult to comment this because, you know, some people's relationships are different than others, and maybe it's a sort of security blanket to have his wife there, and that's kind of fair enough. But the rules are what they are. WWE is what it's like. We know what to expect there. And it's one thing to just be like, do you mind if my missus is sort of hanging about? It's another thing altogether to either shun people when they want to organise, whether it be matches or storylines or whatever, and also to be showing off backstage. It sounds like he's making a rod for his own back, and I had a bit of sympathy for him last week, but if this is the case, then you can't really justify it.
Yeah, we stuck up for the 24-year-old piece of gold on our video on Friday, but you got to play by the rules.
Right, let's move on next to another WWE pay-per-view that is going to be rescheduled due to their shows in Saudi Arabia. This time it is NXT TakeOver San Jose, which was originally scheduled for June the 8th, but because WWE are going to Saudi Arabia, I think the day before June 7th, according to Wrestling Observer, that NXT TakeOver is going to be rescheduled. Not a great surprise this, they moved Backlash, so TakeOver arguably is a lesser pay-per-view, at least in WWE's eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to attract as much attention as the Saudi Arabian show or Backlash would have. So yeah, it's quite natural. They don't want to have a logjam where they have all these like major shows just stuck in a row, except on weekends where they purposefully plan that, like WrestleMania weekends and SummerSlam and so forth. Word is that the TakeOver's new date will be announced during this Wednesday's set of TV tapings, so we should have a new update on that later in the week. But yeah, hardly a big surprise. It's just kind of Saudi Arabian shows kind of throwing a massive wrench in everything else.
And you can have that all you want, WWE. Give me my NXT Money in the Bank ladder match.
God, imagine how good that match would be until Jackson Riker won it. Anyway. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Our next story of the day. Impact Wrestling seemed to have signed a pretty big name free agent from under WWE's nose. So if you cast your mind back a couple of weeks ago, we reported that WWE were interested in signing Michael Elgin. I think it came from Dave Meltzer in The Observer. He had left New Japan Pro Wrestling and was into the free agency market, and it would make sense for them to sign him because he is a big name. But he showed up at the end of last night's Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. Spoiler alert. 3, 2, 1. He attacked the new champion Brian Cage, who won the belt from Johnny Impact, John Morrison, on that very show. So Michael Elgin is in Impact Wrestling. He debuted at the Rebellion pay-per-view. Be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, we anticipated he was going to be going to WWE. They've been snatching people up. It's kind of rare, to be honest, to hear someone getting picked up by someone other than WWE or AEW in the current climate. But yes,
odd, yeah.
Look, it might be the perfect place for him.
Yeah,
Impact.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Elgin, controversial reputation, but there's no such thing as an objectively great professional wrestler. It's all subjective. But in my view, he's a great professional wrestler. Maybe he can be a boon there.
And more fallout from that Rebellion pay-per-view from Impact last night to tell you about. Brian Cage, you mentioned there, new champion,
Biggity
was
Brian.
rushed to hospital following the event, according to Impact on Twitter. He allegedly suffered a back injury during the match, possibly due to a Spanish fly that Johnny Impact gave to Cage. But he did, as you mentioned, manage to finish the match and was attacked by Michael Elgin post-match. We wish him well. We wish him a speedy recovery. Hopefully he should be fine. But yes, Brian Cage rushed to hospital following last night's Impact Rebellion pay-per-view.
Yeah, worrying stuff, particularly as he just won the belt at the end of a long storyline with Johnny Impact.
Yeah.
Very talented guy, very important guy for Impact Wrestling, so let's hope he makes a swift recovery no matter what the injury is. Next, so some new stuff coming out of Vince McMahon. WWE released their latest set of financial reports last week. They were very underwhelming. Revenue is down. They actually reported an operating loss for the first time in what feels like forever. Live events were down 13%. Viewership is in the toilet. All kinds of bad stuff. Now, Vince McMahon, rather weirdly, has, and I quote, attributed this to the loss of 15 top talents due to injury and other reasons. Now, you can certainly say that certain superstars not being around might have contributed a little bit to it. Obviously, Roman Reigns has been away for a while. Brock Lesnar's not always there per his schedule. Ronda Rousey misses shows here and there. Seth Rollins missed a few shows when he was injured sometime after the Royal Rumble. But 15 top stars, Vince. 15 top stars. I mean, I love Fandango. He's been injured for a while. He's not a top star.
Yeah.
And surely...
And to be fair, this is WWE. You've got quite a few other stars if you just sort of manage to establish them.
Surely if everyone else was built up as stars as well, it wouldn't be a problem. That's what pro wrestling is. When someone goes down injured, you have another guy on the bench ready to come up and take the spot. So what happened to, and I love to make this comparison because people always get mad, New Japan, Shinsuke Nakamura left, one of the biggest stars in the company, AJ Styles. No problem, here's Katsuyori Shibata, which doesn't work out through injury. Here's Tetsuya Naito, we're good. Business went up when these guys left. And here's Vince McMahon kind of lamenting the opposite. bit weird.
That's it. Blame the talent, not your terrible writers who wrote Raw awfully towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
Managed to ruin the mystique around Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
It's definitely the talent.
It's the talent, it's injuries, yeah.
Right, our final news story of the day concerns SmackDown Live this week and a first time ever match. Sort of. It is going to be Becky Lynch versus Bayley on this week's SmackDown Live. WWE have promoted this as the first time ever they will face off, which is sort of true. It's the first time they will ever face off in singles competition on the main roster. They wrestled quite a few times in NXT.
Yeah.
But regardless, disregarding that first time ever nonsense, because we know WWE just makes bollocks up, it's going to be a great match. I think Bayley is, from 1 week, she had a real resurgence last week. The way she acted towards Charlotte Flair got a good reaction from the crowd, and I'd like to see her in and around the title picture. Maybe even she should be the person to win the women's Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I can definitely see her losing this match, although we do know that WWE love jobbing out champions in non-title matches. Either way, Bayley showed, like you said, some new backbone last week, some new spine. She's stuck up to Charlotte and Becky and the powers that be. She looked really good in that match. Hopefully this can be the start of a new beginning for our Pam.
Odds on Charlotte being ringside for this or on commentary or some nonsense?
Yeah, she'll be doing some scamp stuff, won't she?
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. Only time for one today because of all the news. Don't forget you can tweet the matters at WhatCultureWWE though. Question today comes from Kai Buskus on Twitter, who says, after the Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens versus Rowan match at Money in the Bank, who should feud with Kofi Kingston next? His picks are Andrade or Ali. Oh, and he says, the Bullet Club fears WhatCulture.
Shane McMahon.
What?
Shane McMahon, the best in the world. Look, this is a semi-banter pick because it's Shane McMahon and he's not very good. But he has been a super annoying piece of trash heel, and I think him doing his best in the world shtick against Kofi and kind of like weaseling his own way into a title shot would be really fun. Yeah. Obviously, Kofi would have to win, and it wouldn't be any kind of match. No. But I just think it would be a lot of fun. I would be sports entertained by that. Backlash,
certainly in recent years, has been the home of crap wrestling, or
yes,
really disappointing pay-per-views. We're going to get a heel Shinsuke Nakamura versus face AJ Styles for the first time, and they just went, do it to the next pay-per-view and the next pay-per-view and the next pay-per-view.
Willy.
I'm going to go against Shane McMahon, although I think that is top banner. I'm going to go Randy Orton. They've got a great deal of history there. You could quite easily see Randy coming in and saying, it's taken you so long to be WWE champion. I was champion within the first few years of being in the company. They got that history when they had that feud, 10 years ago, whatever it was, and Kofi poured paint over a car for some reason. And I think it'd just be the perfect next step. You have to have Kofi beat a few people that won't be damaged by the loss. Kevin Owens will be fine. Randy Orton will be absolutely fine.
Money.
Right, let's move on to today's.
You may have time for one more. You can follow yourself to find another question. It's up to you.
No time. Right, let's move on to today's. And finally, we've had a lot of news stories to go through today.
We've had to give a couple up.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks got green hair now.
And Renee Young's got a new tattoo.
Yeah.
Read about more of that on WhatCulture.com.
You actually can, that's the thing.
But today's and finally centres around Liv Morgan. Do you ever have one of those things where you go away for a while and you tweet having a great time with the lads or whatever, and then you have to call in sick to work the next day and they all know the real reason behind it? Well, Liv Morgan is currently away on vacation in Hawaii with the Total Divas cast, and she tweeted this photo of her chilling out, having fun on a stripper pole, only to tweet the next day that she's broken her toe on the said stripper pole. So unfortunately, Liv Morgan may be out of action for a brief period while she recovers from her stupid self-inflicted injury.
Yeah, this is seems like a very Liv Morgan thing to do, doesn't it? Yep, silly Liv.
But let us know how you've stupidly injured yourself in the comment section below, and get well soon, Liv. It'll be a shame actually because they've just split up the Riot Squad, and she could do with a bit of a push.
She could do with a little push. And just for those who know, Terry Monroe.
There you go. Let us know the stupid ways that you've injured yourself in the comment section below and your thoughts on all today's news stories. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe and send us Twitter questions. We'll cram some more in tomorrow at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hereditary.
You can follow me at Adam Wilwood. You can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE.
Hair loss. That's what it stands for.
We got it. Thanks, Andy. Thank you for watching. And we will see you soon.
Goodness me.